Now, as part of this podcast, the AVANCE podcast, is we bring in legends. We bring in people that want to share how they've impacted the lives of thousands, or not, if not millions of people, Latinos all around the world. And now I have the honor of introducing the one, the only Omar Minaya. Omar, how's it going, man?
I'm doing good, Charlie. Very pleasure to be here. I'm very to be a part of what I think is this great cause and organization and everything that we're trying to do here for Latinos.
We're trying to build up a story that inspires thousands of Latinos, that reaches new generations. And I want you to tell us, how was your life story beginning? Like, how was it for you when you were growing up? And where were you? Were you always dreaming about being in sports?
Well, I love sports, yes. For me, growing up, I am originally from the Dominican Republic. I'm an immigrant, a very proud immigrant. In New York, raised in New York City. Came in here when I was a kid, and then playing in New York City. Going to New York City public school, playing, in the streets of stickball, basketball. In those days, people play a lot of the sports more by season. So if you winter, you play football, basketball. Summer, you play basketball, baseball. And then, it was more, basketball was always there for some reason or another. And I still love basketball. And so, that was my growing up as a kid from Queen, New York. And I'm a New Yorker. I love being a New Yorker. I love being from Queens. I'm a borough guy. So I have that whole New York borough experience that I'm still holding on to.
I love that. And now that you talk about New York, every time I'm there, I get a hint of the essence of Latinos in the U.S. So there's a huge Latino community. So once you got there, how did you feel like coming in, bringing in the Dominican Republic, bringing your culture to the U.S.?
The beautiful thing about New York is I didn't even think about that. The beautiful thing about New York is that you don't even think, don't get me wrong, later on you see it,
Yeah.
but I grew up in a very, very diverse neighborhood. It was, I just say like, I'm a child of the 7 train, subway, the 7 train. And I didn't see this whole being Latino. I mean, I knew I was Dominican, but I was just kind of, I felt myself, I was, in New York. I felt myself that I was in America. So the whole Latino thinking wasn't there. And I think that's good too. I think that growing up, I understood Latino. I come home, I had, the rice and beans, I had the mango, I had the salchichon, I had all that kind of stuff because that's what my parents cooked, the arroz con pollo. So that was Latino. But that being said, this Latino heritage wasn't, it wasn't not even a thought of mine. I was just kind of like, I'm a New Yorker. I'm from Queens. I'm from 97th Street. I'm from 98th Street. It was not, it wasn't about, Latino. It was more about, what side of what street you were from and what school, I'm PS 19, that type of stuff. That was the thinking when I was a kid.
So how did this thinking of being a part of New York, being from Queens, um, playing stickball, lead you to this life story that has changed thousands and inspired thousands to now being an assistant, a consultant for the New York Yankees? Is it right?
Yes, I am. I am. Yeah. So I've been fortunate. Yeah. So earlier on, of course, I was a player and I ended up playing professional. I was drafted out of high school by the Oakland Athletics.
Yeah.
Then I went and played with Seattle Mariners. And then I, went and did something that kind of changed my whole life. I went and played in Europe and I got to experience Italy. I got to experience Tuscany. I got to experience that part of the world. That kind of really changed me. It kind of molded me to the point to this day that I'm still impacted by it, impacted by the food, impacted by the thought, impacted by the optics, impacted by everything. But that blended in because when I grew up in Queens, it was thing. Now that came after I finished playing ball. What happened was I got given an opportunity to be a baseball scout. I coached and scout. I wanted to be Willie Mays. I wanted to be Roberto Clemente. That didn't happen. So then, then when I came back into America, I was fortunate to be hired by some real good people. And they said, hey, do you want to be a baseball scout? And, in those days when you were a baseball scout, that was for older guys. I was only 23, 24 at that time. So I was fortunate to start in the industry at a very young age when there was older people, mostly older people. And I was able to learn from experience from different real good baseball people. I have mentors along the way. Sandy Johnson was a mentor of mine. Brian Lamb was a mentor of mine. And then I kind of started scouting in baseball in New York and Latin America and in the Dominican Republic and in Venezuela and all Latin America. So from that, I took to kind of build up. Started at the bottom. My first job paid $3,500, and then I worked bottom up. And I think the bottom up opportunity really was the one that kind of helped me understand to be grateful, to understand other people. And then when you're in leadership, the number one thing I find in leadership over the years has been, do you have the ability to connect to that intern? I always say that Imo was the intern, the entry level person. And I was an entry level person. And I've never lost sight that when you're in leadership, you connect with the entry level person because you will be a better leader.
I have a question because obviously, just preparing for this podcast interview, I read somewhere that your first paycheck or something like that, you split it and gave half to your parents immediately. Is this true story? Is it made up on social media?
Hey man, I grew up when I was a kid. I used to work in a bodega, man. Everything time you come home, half went to your parents. That's just the way we grew up. I tell it to my kids, they can relate to that. I'm still paying for my kids' gas and Easy Pass. You know what I'm saying?
But that's what we love,
But
man.
we
That's a
grew up when I
great
grew up,
relationship.
man. It was whatever you made, half went to your parents, and sometimes even more. That's just the way it was.
That's the way it was, and that's the Latino way. That's how we grew up. So I want to ask you, given you the Latino traditions, the culture about being a Latino, what do you think Latinos bring to baseball specifically? What do we have that other cultures might not be looking at?
Oh, that's a broad question. I think what we have is, of course, baseball's playing. You look, places play different. I think we bring a style of play, a style of showing our emotions. It's to me, we bring a joy in the field. But the other area that we bring in, we're great consumers, man.
Oh yeah.
We're great consumers. When we go to the ballpark, God bless the Dodgers, Fernando Valenzuela. We are, Dodgers, all that history. We are great consumers. In the field, we bring joy. One thing we do bring with Latinos, I've noticed, Latinos, we root for teams, but we tend to root for our players. In other
Yeah.
words, a perfect example. I was just in City Field, and I look. Let's start over. Let's go back. Pedro Martinez. I bring Pedro Martinez from Boston. So when I had Pedro Martinez from Boston, we had Yankee fans that were like coming to City Shea Stadium to root for Pedro Martinez. We tend to find players to kind of gravitate because they're heroes. They're our national heroes. And we set aside teams. Believe it or not, if you're a Dodger fan or you're, look, if you're Latino, man, Adrian Gonzalez was playing for the Padres, and then Adrian Gonzalez went to the Dodgers. If you were in California, San Diego, and he was with the Dodgers, it's tough for a Padre fan to be a Dodger, but you were rooting for Adrian Gonzalez. No different in the East Coast. Then you have Pedro Martinez. He's playing, he was pitching for Boston, but then he comes to the Mets, and man, like we had a whole bunch of Yankee fans. So from a fan standpoint, from a business standpoint, we are following. From a baseball player standpoint, what we bring in, and let's not forget, the numbers are on our side. I believe over 40% of professional players in Major League Baseball, not Major League Baseball, but maybe all of baseball and Major League Baseball, maybe in the 30s or 20s, high 20s, are Latino. So we are right now the dominant, and I say the dominant foreign players And and then the other thing we bring is, hey, just look who's getting paid. Who's getting paid? Otani's getting paid. Yes, international player. You got Soto who's getting paid. All the big contracts up there are Latino. You get paid because you're doing good. So we are kind of the stars players of the game.
So, what does the future bring? Now, I want to talk first baseball, then we'll go into your side, your perspective. But what does the future bring for baseball? Looking forward to new generations, what are we expecting of next generations? How do they prepare to play in a league as competitive as the MLB?
Well, I think the way to play is you got to play. You know what I'm saying? I'm a little concerned about baseball as far as playing. It's become an expensive sport. It's very expensive. It's becoming a middle class sport as far as playing, how much parents have to pay, how much travel teams have to play. So all these things are a little bit concerning to me for a quote unquote a Latino family, an immigrant family. So, and I say this more in the United States now, in whether it's Puerto Rico, whether it's Venezuela, whether it's Dominican, that's different. And even then, we have issues. We have issues, of kids being signed as 12, 13, 14 years old. We have educational issues to correct. We have a lot of things that need to be fixed. I do believe that there's good conversations being had to try to fix these things. But it's going to take a lot of groups. It's going to take Major League Baseball, the Players Association. It's going to take ex-players. It's going to take active players. It's going to take a lot of groups come together to say, hey, we have to address some of these issues. But that being said, I just got back from the Dominican Republic, and we're going to have the World Baseball Classic next year. I think baseball has great growth, but we have to be careful to address the issues that are underlining issues that are there. And if we can fix those underlining issues, I think we're going to see including more Latinos participating and being our national heroes.
I have a follow up question to that one. So imagine I am a 12-year-old kid playing ball in Mexico. I'm from Mexico, or in Venezuela or Puerto Rico or whatever. And I just want to play baseball, man. But how do I get the big teams like the Yankees to look at me, and what should I do to prepare for that moment? What do I do to prepare and become a player like you did, or become a part of the league like you are doing right now?
Well, you got to play. You got to find leads. You got to find situations. And if you're good, they'll find you. I'm telling you that. I think in Mexico is doing a great job. The Mexican Summer League is growing as a business model. Do you know that last year there were more people in Mexico that went to see baseball games than soccer?
Oh wow, that's
Think about that.
crazy. That's
Just think
crazy.
about that. The Mexican Liga Mexicana have more fans in their games than La Liga Mexicana de Fútbol. Now
Wow.
that's think about that
Mhm.
participation. Okay, the Diablos Rojos, Alfredo Harp, Santiago Harp, the Diablos Rojos are doing an unbelievable job. We
Oh yeah.
took the Yankees to Mexico City last year,
Yep.
and it was a success. It's an unbelievable stadium. So the infrastructure is there to grow in Mexico. And if you're a Mexican kid, and I think it's even going to get better if some of these problems get resolved going forward. There's a will. The Mexican president Horacio, I believe, is de la Vega. The Diablos Rojos. You got the Monterrey team. You got teams. You got a lot of these teams in Mexico that are young, leadership, young owners that are seeing this as a commercialized venue. And then with that commercialization comes opportunity. Now, that being said, the same thing goes in the Dominicans. You got Academy. I mean, you have Puerto Rico. Hopefully someday, our brothers in Cuba, that situation will be free, that they can come and flow. And that's going to bring it to another level. So, to get ready for it, all you got to do is play, man. Just play. Be ready, work hard, play, try to educate yourself the best you can. You got to have support. You got to have family support. But we do have some. We do to get there. We have some dark issues of people, trying to make money off of kids, and we have to fix that.
We do. We definitely do. So, final question, because we're winding all this towards the Avance event that we're going to have in September, where we bring in these huge minds, these genius Latinos from every industry. What goal do you have in this role that you took on? I believe since 2023 with the Yankees. So, what goal do you have? What do you want to accomplish in this role?
Well, what I want to accomplish in this role is help, of course, the New York Yankees win a World Series. Hal Steinbrenner, the Steinbrenner family, Randy Levine, the president, and Brian Cashman. To me, I mean, they're just great people. It's a family-run business. It's a historical, traditional organization. The number one goal is winning a World Series. That's the number one goal that I have, to help them, us win a World Series. Now, two, if without winning a World Series or not winning a World Series, take the Yankee brand and grow it to new places, grow it to, it's probably the number one brand in the world. I don't care where you go, everybody wears a Yankee hat. I just got back from Italy, and 9 out of 10 people are going to wear a Yankee hat. You can go to the Vatican, or you can go to you go to Israel. You can go anywhere. It's a Yankee, the number one brand in sports, in all of sports, and nobody's even close when it comes to the brand. And the third thing is, okay, how to, make everybody be, how can every, of that, you know, that growth, that great, financial vehicle, how can everybody participate in it, and especially Latino have a say in it, not only as players, but have a say in it in the boardroom, have a say in it in the decision making, have a say in it in the actual distribution of the budget.
I love it, man. I love it. What you share, what you are aspiring to do is building a brand and helping. And we appreciate your time. This has been incredible. And we hope to talk even more in the Arvin in September and keep going with the podcast, man. So thank you. Thank you for your testimony, your experience, and your life story.
Charlie, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. It's a pleasure to be part of this organization. And as we say, pa'lante, vamos para adelante todos unidos.
Así es. Vamos para adelante todos unidos. Omar, mil gracias. Muchas gracias.
Ok, muchas gracias. Saludos.